Chapter 6, Jacob, Part 10 of the Legends of the Jews, Volume 1. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by M.L. Cohen, Cleveland, Ohio, July 2007. The Legends of the Jews, Volume 1, by Rabbi Louis Ginzberg. Jacob wrestles with the angel. The servants of Jacob went before him with the present for Esau, and he followed with his wives and his children. As he was about to pass over the ford of Jabbok, he observed a shepherd, who likewise had sheep and camels. The stranger approached Jacob and proposed that they should ford the stream together, and help each other move their cattle over. And Jacob assented on the condition that his possessions should be put across first. In the twinkling of an eye, Jacob's sheep were transferred to the other side of the stream by the shepherd. Then the flocks of the shepherd were to be moved by Jacob, but no matter how many he took over to the opposite bank, always there remained some on the hither shore. There was no end to the cattle, though Jacob labored all the night through. At last he lost patience, and he fell upon the shepherd and caught him by the throat, crying out, "O thou wizard, at night no enchantment succeeds." The angel thought, "Very well, let him know once for all with whom he has had dealings." And with his finger he touched the earth, whence fire burst forth. But Jacob said, "What? Thou thinkest thus to affright me, who am made holy of fire?" The shepherd was no less a personage than the archangel Michael, and in his combat with Jacob he was assisted by the whole host of angels under his command. He was on the point of inflicting a dangerous wound upon Jacob when God appeared, and all the angels, even Michael himself, felt their strength ooze away. Seeing that he could not prevail against Jacob, the archangel touched the hollow of his thigh and injured him, and God rebuked him, saying, "Dost thou act as is seemly, when thou causest a blemish in my priest Jacob?" Michael said in astonishment, "Why, it is I who am thy priest." But God said, "Thou art my priest in heaven, and he is my priest on earth." Thereupon Michael summoned the archangel Raphael, saying, "My comrade, I pray thee, help me out of my distress, for thou art changed with the healing of all disease." And Raphael cured Jacob of the injury Michael had inflicted. The Lord continued to reproach Michael, saying, "Why didst thou do harm unto my firstborn son?" And the archangel answered, "I did it only to glorify thee." And then God appointed Michael as the guardian angel of Jacob and his seed unto the end of all generations, with these words, "Thou art a fire, and so is Jacob a fire. Thou art the head of the angels, and he is head of the nations. Thou art supreme over all the angels, and he is supreme over all the peoples. Therefore, he who is supreme over all the angels shall be appointed unto him who is supreme over all the peoples, that he may entreat mercy for him from the Supreme One over all." Then Michael said unto Jacob, "How is it possible that thou who couldst prevail against me, the most distinguished of the angels, art afraid of Esau?" When the day broke, Michael said to Jacob, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." But Jacob held him back, saying, "Art thou a thief, or a gambler with dice, that thou fearest the daylight?" At that moment appeared many different hosts of angels, and they called unto Michael, "Ascend, O Michael, the time of song hath come, and if thou art not in heaven to lead the choir, none will sing." And Michael entreated Jacob with supplications to let him go, for he feared the angels of Arabot would consume him with fire if he were not there to start the songs of praise at the proper time. Jacob said, "I will not let thee go, except thou bless me." Whereto Michael made the reply, "Who is greater, the servant or the son? I am the servant, and thou art the son. Why then cravest thou my blessing?" Jacob urged as an argument, "The angels that visited Abraham did not leave without blessing him." But Michael held, "They were sent by God for that very purpose, and I was not." Yet Jacob insisted upon his demand, and Michael pleaded with him, saying, "The angels that betray the heavenly secret were banished from their place for 138 years. Dost thou desire that I should acquaint thee with what would cause my banishment likewise?" In the end, the angel nevertheless had to yield. Jacob could not be moved, and Michael took counsel with himself thus: "I will reveal a secret to him, and if God demands to know why I revealed it, I will make answer. Thy children stand upon their wishes with thee, and thou dost yield to them. How then could I have left Jacob's wish unfulfilled?" Then Michael spoke to Jacob, saying, "A day will come when God will reveal himself unto thee, and he will change thy name, and I shall be present when he changeth it. Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For happy thou, of woman born, who didst enter the heavenly palace, and didst escape thence with thy life." And Michael blessed Jacob with the words, "May it be the will of God that the descendants be as pious as thou art." At the same time, the archangel reminded Jacob that he had promised to give a tithe of his possessions unto God. And at once Jacob separated 550 head of cattle from his herds, which counted 5,500. Then Michael went on, "But thou hast sons, and of them thou hast not set apart the tenth." Jacob proceeded to pass his sons in review. Reuben, Joseph, Dan, and Gad, being firstborn, each of his mother, were exempt, and there remained but 8 sons. And when he had named them down to Benjamin, he had to go back and begin over again with Simon the 9th, and finish with Levi as the 10th. Michael took Levi with him into heaven, and presented him before God, saying, "O Lord of the world, this one is thy lot, and the 10th belonging unto thee." And God stretched forth his hand and blessed Levi, with the blessing that his children should be the servants of God on earth, as the angels were his servants on high. Michael spoke again, "Doth not a king provide for the sustenance of his servants?" Whereupon God appointed for the Levites all that was holy unto the Lord. Then Jacob spoke to the angel, "My father conferred the blessing upon me that was intended for Esau. And now I desire to know whether thou wilt acknowledge the blessing as mine, or wilt bring charges against me on account of it." And the angel said, "I acknowledge the blessing to be thine by right. Thou didst not gain it by craft and cunning. And I and all the heavenly powers recognize it to be valid, for thou hast shown thyself master over the mighty powers of heaven, as over Esau and his legions." And even then Jacob would not let the angel depart. He had to reveal his name to him first, and the angel made known to him that it was Israel, the same name that Jacob would once bear. At last the angel departed, after Jacob had blessed him. And Jacob called the place of wrestling Penuel, the same place to which before he had given the name Mahanaim, for both words have but one meaning: the place of encounter with angels. End of chapter 6, part 10.